Welcome everyone to the Thrive series. My name is Amna, and on behalf of the Thrive Planning Committee, I am happy to welcome you all to the Fall 2023 series. If you've attended the Thrive series before, welcome back. If you are new to this series, we are so happy to have you here. We were delighted to have such a great session last year and are looking forward to the next several weeks with you all again. The Thrive program is a collaboration between mHealth Fairview and the Masonic Cancer Center at the University of Minnesota. We are proud to offer 6 sessions this fall. Today is the first session, so don't forget to mark your calendar every Tuesday at 6 p.m. You can pick and choose sessions to attend and rewatch sessions on our website, z.umn.edu/Thrive series. Before we begin, I would like to introduce you to the ladies behind the screen. Over the course of the series, you can expect to see all of us. Again, my name is Amna Hussein. I am the Masonic Cancer Center's Community Engagement Coordinator, and I will be co-hosting tonight's session with colleague Kreiser, mHealth Fairview Survivorship Nurse Coordinator. Also on the planning committee, but not present tonight, is Elsie Eldridge, the Masonic Cancer Center's event coordinator, Lissa Martinez-Hubner, the Masonic Cancer Center's event manager, and Kaya Verrett, the mHealth Fairview Survivorship Program manager. You will see Elsie, Kaya, and Lissa hosting during the course of the series this fall. Now, I'm actually going to hand things over to Holly to get us started, and I totally butchered your last name, so I apologize.
That's okay. Holly Kreiser. Thanks, Amna. I'm so happy to be here and to kick off our first Thrive series of the season. Tonight, we will hear from Kelly Scheller Williams on nutrition and supplements for cancer survivors. Kelly has over 20 plus years of experience as a registered dietitian and has been working specifically with cancer patients for over 8 years. She helps patients with their nutrition needs throughout their entire cancer journey. We will be recording tonight's session and every session so that you can refer back to the recording on our website, survivorship.umn.edu. We edit every recording before we post it to ensure your privacy. Before we get started, please take a moment to locate the mute and chat buttons. During tonight's presentation, please use the chat box to submit your comments and questions. At the end, Kelly will be available to answer any of your questions. And at that time, as Amna said, please feel free to unmute yourself to ask your questions if you'd rather. If you are a University of Minnesota employee or spouse participating in the university's Employee Wellbeing Program, Amna is going to put a link in the chat shortly to complete the survey to mark your attendance today to earn your well-being points. All right, and now I will let Kelly take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Amna. And yes, I'm Kelly Scheller Williams. I'm our registered dietitian here, oncology dietitian at mHealth Fairview. And I've been working as our outpatient dietitian for, as Holly said, about 8 years. And recently had my certification specialty for oncology, which has been excellent. I work in medical oncology and radiation oncology and within several clinics within maybe some of you recognize me, I recognize some of you, but today I'll be presenting supplements, nutrition, and cancer. And as we all know, there's just so much information out there on that big wide web, and it's tough to determine what to believe, what to not believe. So hopefully today I can help clear up some confusion or answer any questions that any of you have. So I'll share my screen here so you guys we can start with the presentation. And can everybody see that okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So starting with our objectives, I want you to learn about the prevalence and safety of nutritional dietary supplements. Also recognize common supplements that are taken by consumers and cancer patients, and understand supplement uses, benefits, and concerns with cancer and cancer treatment. The use of dietary supplements is widespread, especially among those with cancer. While most consumers of supplements use these products to maintain or improve health, healthcare provider recommendations actually account for
Kelly,
less than
sorry to interrupt you. Do you actually
25%
mind, Kelly, do you mind actually just turning off your camera because you are breaking in and out? I think that might help.
Oh, sure. Okay, let's see. Let me know. Okay. Is this better? Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Hopefully it's not breaking out as much. Okay. Let me know if you want me to do anything else. I can adjust. Okay. So what are some risks and side effects of dietary supplements? Dietary supplements, herbal preparations, and homeopathic treatments caused almost 70,000 calls to the U.S. Poison Control Centers in 2019. Of these calls, there's more than 7,000 people that needed treatment at healthcare facilities from interactions and other side effects. More than 800 of these cases led to moderate to severe outcomes. Um, However, most people who have side effects, illnesses, or drug interactions from dietary supplements don't call a poison control center or the supplement manufacturer, so the actual numbers are lower than what occur. And side effects from these supplements most often happen in people who take real high doses or use them instead of medications that may be prescribed by their healthcare providers. Some supplements can cause problems if taken along with certain medications. So some examples of those and interactions would be people who take antioxidants like vitamin C and vitamin E. Those may interact with chemotherapy medicines. They may cause chemotherapy to be less effective. Another one is vitamin K. Vitamin K can make the blood thinner, and warfarin warfarin can be less effective and increase the risk for blood clotting. And then another one is St. John's wort. This can make certain medications less effective. Some examples are birth control pills, medications for depression, heart problems, HIV, and cancer. Do you guys hear me echoing now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure why that changed. I'm gonna mute and then I'm wondering if someone else has their
Yeah.
sound on because I'm hearing some echo from someone else as well.
Yeah,
Is
I
it
think it
okay
should be good now.
now? Okay.
Yeah, please make sure that you are muted during Kelly's presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm just going to read you a little bit with this prevalence slide from the National Institute for Health. Their National Cancer Institute researchers analyzed 32 studies published between 1999 and 2006. This study addressed the vitamin and mineral supplement use among U.S. adult cancer patients and survivors, and the results were published in a 2008 issue of the Journal of Clinical Oncology. And this is the slide you see here. They found that 64 to 81% of cancer survivors reported using some kind of vitamin or mineral supplements. 26 to 77% reported taking multivitamins. Breast cancer survivors reported the highest use with consumption of any vitamin or mineral supplement, ranging from 67 to 87%, and the multivitamin ranging from 57 to 62%. And then the research also found that between 14 and 32% of survivors started using supplements after their diagnosis. I have a couple graphs here that I thought were quite interesting. The first one here on the left projects the dietary global supplement market in billions of dollars. So back in 2016, 7 years ago, it was at about $132 billion spent, by consumers. And now, just recently, a year ago, it's up to $220 billion spent. And it's actually projected, and maybe some of you can guess, by 2030, it's projected to be upward of $330 billion market. So that tells us we spend a lot on our supplements. And then when you look at the graph on the right, this just shows the 10 most popular supplements coming from the Council of Responsible Nutrition. And of course, the multivitamin leads the way with 58% of consumers. And then as you go down, you might see calcium at 20%, and then at the bottom, turmeric for anti-inflammation with 12%. So I just thought that was an interesting, some interesting slides here on the prevalence. And furthermore, for safety, the dietary supplements, they're regulated by the FDA and then the Federal Trade Commission. And in 1994, the U.S. Congress passed the DSHEA, the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act. That dietary supplements were defined as products taken by mouth that provide ingredients intended to supplement the diet. They may include vitamins, minerals, herbal and other botanical products, amino acids and other nutritive and dietary substances, and they come in all shapes and sizes, forms such as pills, powders, tablets, capsules, and liquids. One thing that they also do there is this program. It's a certification program that protects the NSF. It stands for the National Safety Foundation, and it protects consumers by testing harmful levels of contaminants and certifying that the supplements contain the ingredients listed on the label and nothing else. The supplement products do not receive the same regulation, as we all probably know, as prescription or over-the-counter drugs, and this raises questions in the minds of many consumers. So this is why the NSF developed its nation's first independent testing standard and the product certification program for supplements. And this is another one. This was a voluntary program. So this is what I like to look for when I'm buying supplements. This is the USP, the US Pharmacopoeia. So this is a program that evaluates, I won't read it all, it's a wordy slide, but it evaluates the standards of the quality, purity, potency, performance, and consistency of the nutritional supplement or whatever supplement is out there. So if all tests pass, the supplement company can display this USP seal of approval on the label, packaging, marketing, materials of that dietary supplement. So it's a quick and easy way to make an informed decision about which supplement brand to choose. If you see that USP label, you know it's been tested further, that what they say is in it is actually in it. So that's definitely something to look for. And there are a lot of products out there that have the USP. You won't know about, most of them that have the USP will also have the NSF and will be tested through there. But some examples I know off the top of my head, and I can provide lists later if anyone wants them. But a common one is Nature Made. Another one might be Pure Encapsulations. Well, I shouldn't say might, it is. And then Vitamin Shop, theirs are, and also even Walgreens, just the Walgreens brand of any supplement will have the USP. And if it doesn't actually have the logo on it, you might look for it. You'd have to look it up. You'd look on their actual website, but it should have the USP logo. So, and furthermore, safety, but what are some banned supplements that they have tested that aren't safe, that they are banned in the U.S.? These are Chaparral, Ephedra, Comfrey. They've all been deemed unsafe, and Chaparral is used for antioxidant or weight loss, maybe diabetes. Ephedra has been used for weight loss and obesity. Comfrey has been used for arthritis and inflammation. And then the one that's actually still on the market, which is this purple flower here, is pennyroyal. It's unsafe, but it's still on the market. So it's kind of scary, and it's not a common one people use, but that one's used as an antiseptic, maybe for insect repellent, wound healing, things like that. So it's not very common, but it's one that the FDA has deemed unsafe. So it's off. Well, this one's not necessarily off the market, pennyroyal, but the rest of the top three are actually off the market. And then there's some other ones, plants and pharmaceuticals. Because dietary supplements aren't requested to go undergo pre-market evaluation, adverse side effects may not be recognized until reported by consumers, by you and I. And like I said earlier in a previous slide, they're not often reported. In research trials in humans, a lot of trials are done on mice, rats, but actual research trials were done on humans on these 4 supplements. And they found that there were supplement drug interactions, and that would include echinacea, St. John's wort, golden seal, and garlic. And if you're interested in knowing these, echinacea is used for nausea and vomiting, maybe a sore throat, cold. St. John's wort is used for depression and anxiety. Golden seal might be used to treat infections, colds as well, blood pressure even. And then garlic is really helpful for inflammation, heart health, and diabetes. So other popular botanical supplements that are on the market that are safe, that are commonly used, are aloe vera, kelp, chia seeds and chia oil, ginger, cinnamon, and elderberry. So these are okay to take. They have not been reported to pose risks or interactions with drugs. One common one that I know I use in clinic, I suggest for patients who suffer from constipation, is aloe vera. It's, there's no interactions, but then, you got to be careful to stop taking if your bowels shift to the opposite direction and so on. But so just a few ones that are safe. And then on to vitamin mineral supplements. Research is constantly examining the role of vitamin mineral supplementation in cancer prevention. And it's failed to consistently demonstrate benefit. There may be 200 studies out there for one thing, and then maybe it says the other. It's just hard to really pinpoint whether it's safe or not, especially during treatment. Patients with cancer who have difficulty eating because of nutrition impact systems like nausea, vomiting, taste changes, mouth sores from treatment may be at risk of malnutrition or nutrient deficiency and may need to benefit from some type of multivitamin or supplement. And the multivitamin, the MVM supplements, providing 100% of the daily value of each nutrient, can be considered safe and likely adequate for healthy persons. But in patients with cancer, it's important to evaluate the needs of each patient individually according to his or her specific cancer diagnosis, symptoms, treatment modalities, and so on. When a diet includes many fortified, enriched foods, functional foods, it may already be providing the recommended nutrients that are needed. But when patients, if I identify, in my practice that they may be deficient in something, maybe they're eating only meat and potatoes, I may recommend something like a multivitamin, but I be sure that, oh, sorry, I have to go back. I was going to go back a slide. I be sure that the multivitamin, I look at this label here, and down the side, you'll see the percent daily value. It says 100%. That's what I look for. So when someone's going through treatment, if I can find a multivitamin that's strictly 100%, if it teeters on 200% a certain vitamin that they might be deficient, I still deem it okay for them to take a general multivitamin. Okay, and then on to antioxidant supplements. Again, despite years of research into the use of antioxidant supplementation in cancer, controversy remains regarding the safety and efficacy of these complementary treatments. Antioxidant intake does indeed seem to influence the effectiveness of anti-tumor therapy and its adverse effects. Like I always tell my patients, eat colorful foods. Add that to your diet. You get a variety of colorful foods. You're going to get antioxidants that will help protect your cells from oxidation. So always good to get it naturally, but there's some out there that we want to take just to get us a little boost, right? Well, that might be glutathione, vitamin E, selenium, coenzyme Q10, zinc. These are just a few of those antioxidant supplements that people like to take as, they help protect our cells. But, always good to get from food if able. Supplemental antioxidants should be used carefully in patients undergoing cancer treatment. And those patients seeking a curative regimen should use them with great caution. They do give more leeway is granted for palliative regimens. Okay, so now we're going to talk about common consumer supplements. There's a lot of them out there, so I just pulled out some of the most common ones that my patients ask about and that I see people taking. And it starts off with ground flax. I mean, this doesn't necessarily come in like a capsule form, but it's a supplement that most people use fish oil supplements to enhance the amount of omega-3s in their diet, like ground flax. However, fish oil is shown in one study on mice that it could possibly reduce the effectiveness of chemotherapy. And for that reason, ground flax is a worthy alternative. And flax seeds rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which may reduce inflammation. And when supplementing, try to avoid the flax seed oil because it lacks the nutrients than what's in ground flax. And if you're going to have ground flax, make sure it's ground. And you can buy the seeds, grind them, but maybe better off just buying the ground flax because your body won't absorb the seeds. You'll really just poop them out. So that's one general tip is just to make sure you buy the ground. It's more readily it's absorbed, whereas the seeds are not. Another common one is garlic. Oh, and to back up, ground flax can be taken during treatment, before, during, after, anytime. It's a supplement that's okay to take, or a food additive for that matter. But garlic's a great choice when it comes to giving your body a little extra protection. To reap the benefits of garlic, you should eat 1 clove per day or 300 milligrams of garlic extract. If you want stinky breath, go ahead. Either way. But this one is protective effects may include antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. There are some studies out there on garlic, and they're a little bit like I can tell you, one study is taking, you might say taking 200 milligrams of a synthetic altrinum, which is a compound of garlic, and 100 micrograms of selenium given every other day would reduce the risk for all tumors by 33%. And for stomach cancer by 52% when compared to the placebo. But then there was another study that showed that a garlic pill increased the risk for colorectal cancer by 35%. So you gotta weigh, that information there. It's best to definitely avoid something like this during treatment, but mostly, of course, getting it from natural foods versus supplement. And this one is not to be taken during treatment. Then there's green tea. This is an excellent antioxidant as well, and the properties of green tea help protect against metastases of certain kinds of cancers. Green tea also contains chemicals called polyphenols that have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. And consider drinking up to 3 cups of green tea a day, if you like it, to experience the benefits of that. Green tea pills are also available, but maybe too concentrated, especially during treatment. Higher doses of green tea, some of the side effects could be diarrhea and vomiting, so definitely not pleasant. And this is another one that, shouldn't be taking higher doses of green tea during treatment. 1 to 2 cups a day during treatment is absolutely okay, naturally. Ginger is another common one. It's suggested to play a beneficial role against cancer because of, again, its anti-inflammatory and anti-nausea properties. And when it comes to adding ginger to your diet, ginger supplements, again, just like a few of those others, can be too concentrated and not recommended. Instead, cut it up. Add fresh ginger root to meal. Purchase ginger candy for a quick snack. They're sugar-free out there. Avoid excessive amounts of ginger as it may interact with blood thinners and affect certain people's blood sugar levels. So this one just, for example, like, serving size would be 1,000 milligrams, which equals 1 teaspoon of freshly ground ginger, or 2 milliliters of liquid ginger extract, or, maybe 4 cups of prepackaged ginger tea. Those are the serving sizes that, would give you some good benefits. Again, then ginger should not be taken with treatment. I think I mentioned that. Here's another common one, the curcumin or turmeric. This is the Indian spice that can be extremely helpful when it comes to inflammation and anti-cancer properties. Studies show that curcumin in turmeric may slow tumor growth. The benefits of curcumin may include blocking cancer cells from multiplying, killing colon, breast, prostate, and melanoma cancer cells, and slowing tumor growth. So add some turmeric to your next dish or take a supplement containing curcumin to experience the benefits of this powerful substance. Of course, the supplement if you're not in active cancer treatment. Curcumin should be taken with high-fat foods for optimal absorbency. So I can be honest, I take curcumin, turmeric, for my arthritis in my knees. It's hard to say whether it helps or not, but hey, it's an anti-inflammatory, and I make sure when I do take it, I take it with avocado, peanut butter toast, something with fat. And if you do buy turmeric or curcumin, you want to make sure it is the pepperine. The pepper in there is also going to help with the absorbency of it. And I find that a lot of people, depending on your culture, may not get a lot of turmeric or curcumin. So supplements, post-treatment is absolutely okay. I would suggest it if people are interested in, something like that for inflammation. And then omega-3 oils. These healthy fats are found in oily fish like salmon, tuna, halibut, herring, and seeds like flax seeds. Omega-3s contain two valuable fatty acids. I won't say the words, EPA and DHA. These two acronyms come from the cold water fish, which is what really helps with inflammation. The ALA is the plant source, which you talked about with the ground flax. So it's good to get all three. If you're going to buy an omega-3 supplement, you want to make sure it has all three of those acronyms in it. The EPA and the DHA for sure, and then the ALA is the plant source. Studies have shown that these fatty acids can reduce your risk for cancer and other diseases and promote brain health and produce compounds in your body that fight inflammation in your cells. And EPA and DHA may increase risk for bleeding, so we don't want people to take more than 4,000 milligrams a day. Okay, so an average dose, if you were to look at a supplement in any store or pharmacy, you'd see about 1,000 milligrams. That's absolutely okay. Taking 4,000 or more can increase the risk for bleeding. So definitely being careful with that. But if you're eating salmon or fatty fish 2-3 times a week, you may not need that supplement. So another one is the sunshine vitamin, as we all know about. Vitamin D. It can absorb calcium and help the immune system, muscle, and nervous systems function properly. And according to breastcancer.org, research suggests that certain cancers, such as breast cancer, can have a higher risk of occurring when the body has low levels of vitamin D. So vitamin D is one I often have the providers check on my patients because it's not very abundant in food. Fatty fish, fortified milk, egg yolks. The recommended daily value is about 600 international units, IU. Vitamin D is best absorbed through the sun, and in our climate where we live, Minnesota, or if you're in Wisconsin or North Dakota, we don't see the sun much. And when we do in the summers, it's not at an angle where we're going to get optimal absorbency. We're going to have to sit out in the sun and lay out for 20 minutes with our shirt off, expose our upper body for 20 minutes to get an adequate amount of vitamin D every day. And that doesn't seem that possible. For some people, maybe. I did have a question from one of our clinicians or providers regarding vitamin D absorbency. Do we absorb vitamin D if we're wearing sunscreen? And the correct answer is yes and no. No, because if you put on adequate sunscreen as it calls for, so you're lathering up and you're reapplying it every 30 minutes or whatever it suggests, you're probably not going to absorb much vitamin D. However, what studies show from Harvard that we're not applying as much as we should. So we are still absorbing vitamin D from the sun, even if we are using sunscreen. Because I know for myself and my kids, we definitely don't reapply more than twice. So that's the lowdown on the question of vitamin D. And then there's selenium. This is a mineral that removes free radicals from the body, making it a potential defense against cancer. Free radicals are the unstable molecules that attack cells and can eventually lead to cancer if they're not removed. Too much selenium, though, can be toxic, and doses as high as 300 micrograms have been shown to reduce certain kinds of cancer, including cancers of the esophagus, colon, lung, and liver. And the recommended daily value for selenium is 55 micrograms. And you can get your daily dose from supplements, or best, of course, through foods like cereals and grains that are fortified, and even nuts. A Brazilian nut, to give you that idea of how much selenium you need in a day, eat one Brazilian nut. That's it. Just have one Brazilian nut a day and you'll get all of the selenium you need. There's your supplement, just one whole nut. Okay. And then vitamin E. This is another antioxidant. It's a fat-soluble vitamin. It helps the body remove cell-damaging free radicals. Vitamin E can decrease the risk for prostate, colon, and lung cancers. Low amounts of vitamin E may increase your risk for cancer. So it's important to get enough this vitamin daily from diet or supplements, hopefully through diet. The recommended daily allowance or daily value is 8 to 10 milligrams a day. And the following foods, just having a couple servings of maybe almonds, avocados, broccoli, beans, mango, spinach, and olive oil. These are all plentiful in vitamin E. Vitamin E also actually helps vitamin oil if you've got non-healing wounds, or I'm sorry, not wounds, scars from wounds. So you can just rub a little vitamin E oil on that scar and that can help it heal faster. Um, and also then you want to protect scars from sun too. Vitamin E, and then add your sunscreen, and that can help protect and reduce scarring. Coenzyme, CoQ10. This one is a substance, another antioxidant that the human body actually makes. It occurs in our body naturally. Um, Cells use it to generate energy, and but our bodies produce less CoQ10 as we age. So, if you're not getting, looking down at the bottom of the slide, a lot of organ meats, beef liver. I don't know that everyone's eating that every day, but fatty fish, salmon, eggs, nuts, and whole grains will contain CoQ10. And you can see here, if you look closely on this nature-made bottle of CoQ10, you can see on the left, right above the blue square, that it has the USP logo on it. So that one is certified. What they say is in it is in it. It's safe. Okay, so think supplement with foods. Eating these nutrients as part of your diet is better than supplementing because often they are heat activated. Well, that removes the when you're creating a supplement, it's removing a lot of the nutrient from its plant host. It destroys some of the health benefits. So, in other words, eating the actual plant is necessary, not just the micronutrient alone. When I say heat activated, so think of like a sprig of broccoli. If you eat it raw, or if you cook it al dente, or if you cook it till it's mushy, right in the middle, you're going to get the best nutrient value from cooking it till it's bright green and firm. That's where all the nutrients are going to come out. Of course, it's still good to have broccoli, whether it's mushy or raw. Any form is better than nothing, but that's just a tip and one example of how heat can just, destroy nutrients just in general, cooking them. But then furthermore, when you process them and put them in supplements, it destroys a lot of the value as well. So when to supplement. Research has proven that our bodies need a wide variety of nutrients to stay well, and vitamins like vitamin C and D, minerals like calcium and iron are all essential to our health. And studies have reported the role of antioxidants like phytochemicals found in plants. They can keep our cells healthy and reduce our risk for disease. So doesn't it make sense that if you isolate these substances, taking them as a supplement form is fast, easy way to good health? No, not actually. The best way to get nutrients, of course, is through food. Um, but if people are deficient for whatever reason, a supplement might help. For instance, vitamin D. Many people don't get enough vitamin D living here in our climate. And if you don't get enough vitamin D, your body can't absorb calcium very well. Your bones need calcium to stay strong. But simply don't start taking vitamin D. Have your doctor test your level at your annual physical or next follow-up to see if you're in need of a supplement. Signs of vitamin D deficiency could be fatigue and depression. So if you feel like your diet's optimal, getting enough protein, you're active, and you're just feeling fatigued, that could be a sign of deficiency. And then there's B12. B12 keeps your nerves and blood cells healthy and prevents anemia, low iron, which can make you feel weak and tired. Most people who eat meat and dairy get enough B12 from their diet, but people who are vegan, vegetarian, may need to take a supplement. Or also people who've had any type of stomach surgeries, intestinal surgeries, maybe partial stomach removal from cancer, whatever it may be. These type of surgeries might cause a vitamin B12 deficiency, which then, of course, may need to be supplemented. And then the multivitamin. If you think that you have gaps of nutrients in your diet, you definitely a multivitamin can be very helpful. And eating plants of all colors. I guess you probably heard of eat the rainbow. I still tell the joke about my son when he was little. Now he's past teenage years, but he pulled out a bag of Skittles. Like, hey mom, this works, right? Looks like a rainbow. Like, nope, sorry, it doesn't have all the colors. But so every color signals a different beneficial antioxidant. They defend our body from damage from pollution, infection, medications, and more. So in a plant-based diet, rich in vegetables, whole grains, and fruits is proven to actually lower risk for cancer in ways that supplements are not. So make 2/3 of every meal, if you can, made up of plants. I see the vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and then the remaining third would be your lean protein and plant protein. So if you focus on your diet in this way, it will give you way more nutrients than a supplement ever could. So perspective, I love this. You can't only do push-ups your whole life and expect to get in shape, right? Just as you can't only take one supplement and expect it to reduce your risk for cancer. So I love that perspective. It's true. So it's good to get a good variety of everything rather than a supplement. But again, we need to supplement when necessary. So I was just going to go through some quick Q&A answers. And you don't have to answer. I'll just whiz through them. But vitamin, mineral, over, and botanical supplements are often promoted as healthful or essential additions to the diet. But, a lot of times they can be harmful. So does a supplement protect against cancer? The actual answer is no. Supplements don't protect against cancer. Eating a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables and whole grains has shown to provide the vitamins and minerals to help with cancer prevention. The next one is, do antioxidant supplements help with cancer treatment? That's no as well. In the same way that antioxidants in fruits and vegetables are thought to protect healthy cells from cancer, antioxidant supplements may also protect the cancer cells against treatment. So one thing I talk to my patients about is, avoiding those high doses of supplements during treatment because we don't know how they may be affecting our treatment, our chemotherapy, immunotherapy, and so on. So then I'll often get the question of, well, what about antioxidants from whole foods? Like, can I have 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables a day because they're high in antioxidants? Absolutely. You can have 10 servings a day. If you want to have 5 servings of blueberries a day, that's okay. You're not going to get the concentrated form in those natural whole foods as you would in the actual supplement. Some examples of people who may need vitamin mineral supplements may be postmenopausal women, the elderly, those with a medical condition that affects absorbency, um, use or the use or the excretion of nutrients, as I mentioned, with certain surgeries and so on, or malabsorptions, those with poor diets, which I try to help people identify, vegetarians and vegans, and those who consume less than 1,200 calories a day. Less than 1,200 calories is pretty minimal, and patients will typically see weight loss on that and not quite getting adequate nutrition, so that's when it can be helpful. And then smokers and heavy drinkers may need to supplement as well. Okay. Is it safe for patients to take a basic multivitamin during treatment? No, not all multivitamin products are appropriate. Check the label to make sure that it contains no more than 100% of the daily value of each nutrient. So as I mentioned earlier, it's important for the dietitian or, clinician to identify, what a patient's diet looks like, if it's lacking, and, you know, um, there's nutrition impact systems that are affecting their ability to eat, then I okay patients to take a general supplement that has 100% or less of the daily value. Can herbal medications interfere with chemo or radiation treatment? Yes. Most herbals, and I talked about some of them earlier that are even banned, and botanicals contain antioxidants which can interfere with the cancer treatment. Could taking large doses of vitamin and mineral supplementation cause cancer? There's some vitamins and minerals that research has linked to increased risk of cancer. This might be taking high doses of vitamin A, B6, B12. Studies show that they may increase the risk in lung cancer patients and smokers. And then vitamin E and selenium have been linked to prostate cancer. So when you read, studies on how some of these nutrients can help, prevent, protect your cells and so on, patients got to be careful with combining certain nutrients and supplements because that has been linked to certain cancers. And those are just a few examples. I do have levels if people were interested and concerned. I don't want people to be afraid of like taking B12 needed. What is upper dose? Actually, B12 is one that there's no upper dose that is an increased risk. So um, vitamin E, there may be vitamin E greater than 300 milligrams. And to put that in perspective, a serving of broccoli has 1.5 milligrams. So see, natural foods are going to give you less of that vitamin. So it's best just, again, get everything from diet. So what should I do if I want to take a supplement? Of course, talk to your oncologist, primary care physician, dietitian, even pharmacist. They will be able to help you understand your individual needs, whether the supplement is safe for you to take during treatment, and how to achieve and maintain a healthy nutrition status. Some dietary supplements, some of the interactions could be skin sensitivity, reactions during radiation treatment. Some dietary supplements can also, like I mentioned, interact with chemotherapy medication. So um, they could affect the responsiveness to the chemotherapy. So, how to reduce your risk? Of course, talk to your health care provider or pharmacist, dietitian. Follow the label directions. Avoid mega doses. Avoid supplements that contain hormones or steroids. Stop taking if you feel side effects of anything. Like one example, people take aloe vera. If you're getting diarrhea, if constipation, if diarrhea starts, stop taking it. It can go the opposite direction. Look for the USP verified mark, as we mentioned. And also visit the FDA or the National Complementary of Cancer and Alternative Medicine website can be helpful too to get more information on supplements that are out there. So bottom line, from American Cancer Society, much of what we hear, read about dietary supplements is based on anecdotal evidence. Anecdotal evidence is based on a person's, even a doctor's, personal experience or opinion rather than research. So be skeptical of sources that make big claims based on people's testimonials, vague references to that scientific proof. So the rule is, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. That usually applies to such claims. And then always keep in mind too that the makers and the sellers of the supplements may have a financial interest in promoting their products, which I do see often. So, and then the next part, multivitamins, or vitamins, minerals, vitamins aren't a shortcut to good health. It's important to do the other hard work, like getting good sleep, getting your exercise, trying to eat as best as you can, going to see your healthcare provider on a routine basis. So it's, one piece of the puzzle, not meant to be the only solution. So just, you can just do your best with all of this and let food be thy medicine. And from Hippocrates, right? Um, so yeah, if you guys have any questions just regarding what I presented here, I'm certainly happy to answer any questions here. I can take myself off video and see if we aren't cutting out anymore. Hey there. Okay.
Thank you so much, Kelly, for that great information and all the amazing tips that you shared. I really love your reminder of just the majority of our foods or our vitamins and minerals should come from the foods we eat. So thank you for all of the information that you shared with us. Before we move on to some questions, I want to let you all know that a survey will be emailed to you tonight. So please don't forget to take the survey for a chance to win a swag bag. Okay, so let me just go over here we got some really great questions. Okay, I will start with Caitlin says, I work with prostate cancer patients and many of them take turkey tail mushroom. What do you think of this one?
Yes, and right. During cancer treatment, I would say avoid it just because there's not enough studies on how that may interact with any treatment, the radiation, chemotherapy, immunotherapy. I definitely tell my patients to avoid any of those powdered mushroom supplements.
Okay.
And it's a hard thing to do. It is. And, patients really want to take these supplements that they have heard and read that can be helpful. And you feel like you break their heart and let them down, but there's not enough evidence.
Okay, thank you.
Great question.
We do have a couple of questions too about CoQ10. Can you reiterate like why it's important? What does it do for our body? And then what is a healthy dose to take?
Naturally it's going to provide us with the energy to our cells. So healthy dose to take. Goodness, what is that? 100? I'd have to go back to my slides. I'm not sure if I had it on there, but as I mentioned, in our cells naturally provide the CoQ10, the antioxidant, but as we age, that diminishes. So it may be good to supplement, but of course it's good to get it from your diet as well. And 2 to 3 servings a day, I'd have to go back and look. Nuts and salmon and so on can provide that. The supplement itself, I'd have to look it up.
Okay.
Exactly, I don't have off the top of my head the actual dose that they sell them in.
Okay. There
Yeah,
was a little confusion about garlic. In one slide, you had mentioned that it's not safe, and then the slide after that, you had mentioned that it is a good one that you can take with food through food. Can you clarify,
yeah,
please?
so absolutely, yes. Garlic, any form naturally. So if you're having a clove of garlic, you're taking, even just the clove, the garlic extract, that's okay to take, the natural portion of it. But higher doses, we just don't know. There's not enough information on how that can interact with
Okay,
the treatment.
got it.
I don't know if I really answered or clarified that enough for you.
So
I
it's
can
not
also,
safe during treatment.
right, not to be,
Okay,
garlic should not be taken during treatment, but
okay.
hey, after treatment, and if you're not going through treatment, have at it, have as much as you want. Just sweat it out. So
Yeah.
it can be
Um,
stinky, any form of it.
yeah. So Helen says, in reference to the Brazil nuts, just one nut, she's in. But what happens if you eat 3 to 5 pieces of Brazil nuts?
That's okay as well.
Okay,
Yes, that's okay as well, because then you're still not even getting that, what is it, 300 milligrams a day. Yeah. Oh yeah, handful of nuts and it contains 3, 4, 5 Brazil nuts, absolutely. And even if you're eating them every day, that's okay.
okay. Thank you.
Great natural form, natural antioxidant.
Thank you. Okay, let's see here.
Welcome.
We have so many questions, Kelly. If we cannot get to all of these, how can we get these answered?
What I did last time a couple years ago is they were printed out and I answered all the questions in a Word document and sent it out, and I think they were sent to the group.
Okay, wonderful.
So no problem. Yeah.
Let me just take a peek here. If there is a caffeine sensitivity, Do green tea capsules and pills contain the same caffeine as when drinking a cup of green tea?
So the capsules and pills are going to contain more. So what I tell patients, if you are going through treatment, limit the green tea to one to less than 2 cups a day, and don't count that as your daily fluid intake that's required with chemotherapy. So you're going to get much less of that caffeine from the actual source than the supplement.
Okay. And then what about other types of teas, specifically for hot flashes due to anti-inhibitor for breast cancer patients on endocrine therapy? Uh, Mary was asking about rose hip tea specifically.
I've heard of those. Yeah, Mary, I have. I would have to do some more um, investigation or research into what might be helpful for that. I'm not too certain on teas for hot flashes. I know there's some, like Smooth Move helps with constipation and ginger helps with nausea and so on. But yeah, sorry, Mary, I can't completely answer that. I'll see what I can find.
What about so a couple questions of regarding turmeric and the recommended daily dose.
Yes. So 500, if you were to take a supplement, it's about 500 milligrams, and that would be in a capsule. So I'd have to look in terms of like, say you had a teaspoon of, that Indian spice on your food. A couple, actually, I do know that, and this is interesting information, for a body to absorb, so the turmeric naturally, we have to have almost the study that I remember reading a while back, maybe there's been more, but we have to have almost 3 full tablespoons of turmeric every day to have that general effect. And that's of the natural food. So that's where the supplement itself may come in handy because it is more concentrated. However, when you remove the plant from its host, it reduces the effectiveness. So,
Hmm.
and I know for myself, I couldn't eat 3 tablespoons of turmeric every day. So, uh, yeah, I would say 500 if you were to take a supplement, about 500 milligrams.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm. You're welcome.
A question regarding saw palmetto. Is that any good and safe to take?
Oh, yes, saw palmetto for prostate cancer, prostate health. I that one in general, if you're not going through treatment, okay to work, whether it works, okay to take. Studies are variable, whether it works or not for prostate health. I would say avoid it. Avoid that one during any treatment.
Okay. This might be a question for a pharmacist, but I'll ask you and I'll see what you think. Any known supplemental interactions with tamoxifen?
Oh goodness, I do remember reading. Let me go back and look for you because I do believe that there is. And of course, the pharmacist will be able to ask. Goodness, I think I want to say possibly green tea, Margaret. Um, yeah, but let me take a peek at that. It might be green tea.
Okay.
Something is rolling around in my mind, so I'm going to look that up for you. I know it's in my oncology nutrition book. I think I remember reading that when I was, you have everything floating around studying for exam, but I do believe it
Yes.
might be green tea, but please don't quote me, okay?
Thank you. Okay, here is a question regarding the term treatment. So for a patient who is taking a daily chemo pill, is that considered treatment or not? And kind of the same question for like endocrine therapy.
Yes, it is. And that's where it gets touchy and tricky with supplementation and patients wanting to take antioxidants, right? How I approach that, because yes, to answer the question, yes. How I approach that is, looking at your diet as a whole. If you want to take turmeric or you want to take, and you're not getting any of the Indian spice in your diet, take the capsule, one capsule every other day. You're most likely not getting that high dose when patients, maybe take two, I mean, think what they call for, mine at least, it calls for taking 2 capsules a day, and I maybe take one every other day. But yeah, just in general, evaluate your diet depending on what you're taking. If you're not getting it in your diet, it should be okay to take it, a few times a week.
Thank you. Is green tea safe to take with letrozole?
Green tea. So that's where I'm thinking letrozole, tamoxifen. It's one of the. It's somewhere. Let me double check that for you, okay?
Okay,
And that might be, of course, I'll check it for you. I can answer that question, but the pharmacist maybe works with those, questions more often.
thanks, Kelly. Any
Mhm.
diet suggestions for a patient on immunotherapy?
Um, yeah. So in general, with and chemotherapy, immunotherapy, with low blood counts, be cautious of avoiding foods that are going to be undercooked that pose a risk for foodborne illness. But I wouldn't say specifically in terms of types of diets. I mean, I would suggest overall, if people can, handle a Mediterranean-based diet, vegetarian diet, those are the most optimal diets to follow to provide the most healthful nutrients, fiber, healthy fats, and so on. But specifically, depending on the type of immunotherapy, Keytruda, there may be some nutrition impact systems that could affect your ability to eat. Maybe there's diarrhea and so on. So you may need to alter your diet, according to help, that to cope with that symptom. But in general, just do your best to get, all whole foods.
Thank you. Okay, I think we have time for one more question. If you are a healthy person, what vitamins would you recommend that most people need to supplement with on a daily basis?
A healthy person, does that mean healthy diet? A healthy person, so maybe diet is healthy, get good sleep, exercise. In general, I wouldn't really, it depends on what. Do you have arthritis? Turmeric is one for that, but in general, multivitamin, if you're looking just to maybe fill in some gaps there, but vitamin D is a very common one that I would suggest because we definitely don't get enough. For women, especially postmenopausal, breast cancer survivor, vitamin D and calcium are very important.
Thank you, Kelly. And to everybody else who has submitted questions in the chat and Q&A, thank you so much. We will make sure and get all of these over to Kelly and get some answers for you.
Yes, thank you. I'll certainly provide answers. I'll clear up, some of those questions that I already partly answered. But yeah, any other questions along the way, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you, Kelly, so much.
Thank you so much, Kelly. So as mentioned, we'll be sending out all of the questions that were unanswered in the post, in a survey later there, in an email later this week. So just keep an eye out for that. But Kelly, thank you so much for being here today and for such a robust discussion. It was great. And as a reminder, we will be recording this session. So it will be available on our website by the end of this week. You will also be receiving an email that will be sent out just shortly after the Zoom wraps up with a quick link to complete a survey that will help us truly continuously improve. And after submitting the survey, you can enter into the drawing to win a swag pack filled with goodies from the Masonic Cancer Center. And we look forward to seeing you all next week. We'll be hearing from one of our genetic counselors who will be speaking about cancer genetic testing, screening, and
Can I show me your shower? Mine has like sprigs for and
if you
sprigs.
can unmute yourself, we are wrapping up, but this is the end of our session tonight. So hope to see you all at our session next week. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.